Hey, good morning. Good morning, Chris. How you doing today, Chris?
Hey, I am feeling significantly better than last Friday. I was about as close to out of duty as possible, but I'm doing better and I'm excited to have this conversation today.
Yeah, that's good. I remember you could barely talk last week, but thanks for still being able to join us on our part of the training. I know it can be difficult when you're fighting some illnesses and that, but at least you made it through.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Today's training, I was I was just thinking I was just thinking about a title for a training last night, and I think about I don't know how your kids are, Chris, if they use the same sort of slang that mine use these days, but
Uh,
like just some of these words that they use, like slay, like
uh-huh.
like that's slay, that's or like they might buy like a new outfit or something. Oh, that's so preppy. Do your kids say
Yep.
stuff like that?
Oh my gosh. I wish I could remember some of the wild things they do say on a moment's notice. But I remember one time, probably a month or two ago, the older ones were saying some stuff, and we were in bed at night, literally looking it up. I'm like, is this some kind of profanity? Is this dangerous? Are they being trafficked and we don't know it? Then we look it up. We're like, oh, what? What is that?
Yeah. Yeah, this morning, my daughter, my 10-year old, like the things that they're into, like my 10-year-old and my 8-year-old daughters are into like all this skincare. Like
Oh
they're
yeah.
8 years old and 10 years old. It's like all these YouTube videos that they watch, talking about skincare and all this stuff. And my one daughter, she's like, I got this new perfume and it's a dupe of this other brand. I'm like, a
Oh,
dupe. It's a dupe. So it's like I guess it's like the fake of like the real thing. She's like, yeah, I got it at
oh.
Target. It was a lot cheaper than the real one. I got the dupe.
That sounds like
And I
some
was
final
thinking,
expense. Man, I got that another dupe lead. No, it's just Betty. She fills it out every 90 days.
yeah, I mean, I was thinking about it. There's a lot of people in this industry that turn themselves into dupes. They're fake. They're not real. They're you know,
Oh,
they 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 talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk.
no, I hear you.
So, and some of them that poop out of it, I guess they'd be a this will be a dad joke. They'd be a pooper duper.
Oh my gosh,
So,
it's like its own language.
but no, I was just last night. I was just trying to put together a title for the training and was just laughing because my one daughter, everything is slay and
Hmm.
preppy and all this stuff, and or she, what's the other one, bruh? What's up,
Oh,
bruh?
oh my gosh. That one drives me wild because it's like contagious by accident,
And
but
she
it's
says
just
it
like,
to
no,
me.
I'm not
She
your
says
bro.
it to me. All right, bruh. It's cool, bro.
Oh. What were some of the slangs I mean, you had a few years on me, so
Yeah.
but what was the slang back then?
I don't know. Like preppy, like back in when I was a kid, like preppy wasn't like a cool slang.
Hmm.
That was like I don't know, that was like the kid that like kind of dressed maybe too nice at
Hmm.
school. His parents put him in like a polo and like a sweater or something. Like,
Oops.
yeah, like you today, Chris. Like that would be preppy back in the day.
Yeah.
And now preppy's like cool. Like these new Nike kicks are preppy.
Yeah.
So and I showed my daughter the title for the training today. I showed her the thumbnail. I said, look at
Hmm.
the title for my training day. She goes, ew, cringe.
Oh, there's another one. Yep. Yep. I looked it up. I got 90 slang for you here. Not to interrupt the training for those
Yeah.
watching, expecting some kind of marketable sales training at this point. I just gave you 30 minutes of that. Give us 5 minutes. Here's some 90s slang for those of you in the industry in your late 30s and early 40s. Um, as if, as if those leads are exclusive, you're reselling them to me.
But I think that usually they use it like after saying something.
Hmm.
Like it would be like I'm trying to think of a way to put it, but they'd be like, it would be like a response to something, as if. Yeah, that would be, I don't know. I never said as if. That
No,
kind of sounds like a Valley
girly.
Girl
Yeah.
sort of slang.
Maybe we should look up Midwest slang for kids in Illinois. Then we would have understood what we were talking about. How about
Or like
rad? Well, that's rad.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'd say like dude, dude, what's up, dude?
Now it's what's up, bruh.
Yeah, now it's what's up, bruh.
Oh my gosh.
What's
How
up,
about
bruh?
That's fly. Man, that new carrier, that combined, that's fly.
That's fly. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I didn't really never use too much of the slang,
No.
but I guess kind of the same thing. I just think social media and YouTube and stuff, like the kids, they watch these videos and kids are talking like that, and then they like, oh man, I guess that's kind of cool. I guess I should kind of talk like that too.
Yeah.
That's lit.
Oh, that's lit, bruh.
That's lit, bro. Man, those new shoes are lit, bro.
As of course, with Reddit, there's a thread on everything in your life. Most memorable 90s slang on Reddit. You could go into the rabbit hole. Oh, that's gnarly. Did you ever say that, or was that you too old for that one?
I don't think I ever said it, but I mean, I remember hearing it. Yeah, maybe that one's a little past me too, but
Yeah.
I remember hearing it. That gnarly reminds me of like maybe like Ninja Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
I think they probably said stuff like gnarly.
It's the bomb. Transamerica Express is the bomb.
Yeah, the bomb. Well, see, that was the thing. I was going to call our training today "Secrets to Crushing It," but crushing it, that's like a few years ago. I mean, now it's slaying it.
Yeah, well, I had a crush bar at my wedding. Is that the same thing?
What's that?
We had a crush bar at the wedding. Is that the same thing? No, it's a drink.
I don't know. Is it? Okay, yeah. Crushing it. Like Gary V, he's got the book called Crushing It.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, heck, that book, that's like what, 2016, 2017. I mean, that's old. I mean, now it's about slaying it, man. You gotta be slaying it.
Yeah, it's old, bro. So I went over some fun stuff today. I mean, I woke up this morning, I read what today's topic was going to be, and then I just took and decided, we're going to talk to people about how to slay it as a personal producer. But let's talk about all the things in the chassis of the package, of the car, of the thing that makes all that other stuff work. Because you can't really slay it if you're on as successfully in this industry, let's be clear, if you don't have leads or someone to tell you what to do with them. You couldn't.
Oh, yeah.
Like you could want to slay it in the business, but if you don't know what to do or have people to see, you couldn't do what you wanted to do as a personal producer as successfully and as profitably if you were paying for your leads and you were on like a low contract, like a really low contract. It just doesn't quite work the same way. Like all of the things that we provide to get people there, get them there. And I was excited to talk about it. I mean, the appointment team isn't perfect. Nothing's perfect. I have an hour set aside on Friday just to spend more training with them. But if I was an agent on my own and someone said to me, appointment setter, I'd lose my mind. I'm like, yes, of course, all those things. So hopefully what we talked about in the first 30 minutes pairs perfectly what you're going to talk about, because I think the chassis really helps you get to where you're going far more profitably, effectively, than a lot of other places out there.
Yeah, and I think really what I wanted to kind of gear towards today is maybe either brand new people to the business or people that just kind of need to put a new plan in place. That's kind of what I'm thinking about. Like, I know we talked to Johnny Nitafan a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He mentioned like your guys' content, so much of it is like next level, where not a lot of it is geared towards like the brand new agent. And I think again, it's just because we kind of talk a lot about our own personal experiences and kind of where we're at. And I mean, the amount of time we've been doing it, we forget sometimes about those that are just getting started and what they need to do to kind of get set up correctly. So that's really what I wanted to talk about today. And when I showed my wife the thumbnail for this, she's like, man, Chris is going to quit. She's like, she's like, he ain't gonna want to work with you anymore. You're too crazy. You're too weird.
Oh my
So
gosh. We're talking about targeting the agent that's trying to get back on their feet or get into this business, like what you're talking about there.
yeah.
I mean, I get excited over the silliest things sometimes, but this mini lead program for Facebook is exactly what those kind of people need. Like maybe they don't want to do free leads. Maybe they can't afford $800 a week. Maybe they need to realize that door knocking leads, I didn't mention this, it was in my notes. Door knocking leads older than my kids is not an effective business strategy. Like it just doesn't work well anymore and it drives you into burnout. And this mini lead campaign, Adam, more and more people are signing up for it. $275 a week is getting them about 10 leads a week, is getting them about 3,000 in production a week. If you can't scale that and start there, then it's time to look differently out there in the world. But I love it. It's so exciting to see people committing to it, signing up for it, putting their card down on subscription for it. Like that's a pretty heavy duty commitment. I'm proud of the people that have made it.
Did you just say that people are paying $275 and they're writing $3,000 in premium?
John Washoe did it. I mean, John is probably one of the most unique characters out there, but a hardworking proof of concept type producer that wrote $3K off of a $275 a week lead spend.
Well, where else could you take $275 and turn that into $3,000? It just doesn't happen.
No.
I mean, people always try to figure out easy ways of making money. And, even lately I've been playing around a little bit with like the Coinbase, like the crypto and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I think about it and it's like, this money's sitting here. It's earning a little bit, stuff's going up, stuff goes down. But then at the end of the day, it's like, heck, I could take that same $1,000 and turn it into, like you just said, a 10 times your investment. 275. I mean, making $3,000 on 10 leads, you can't beat that. So, I mean, I think that's really we talk so much about investing and putting our money in the stuff that makes sense. Well, this is something that makes sense. I mean, you got to invest into your business. When I first started, I didn't have a whole lot of money, and the company that I worked with, they actually gave me a bunch of orphan policy holders, which was nice, like agent or policy holders that were either active or no longer active with the carrier, but they no longer had an active agent. So it was like they just wanted me to go out and service these people. And that was a great way to start because, I didn't really have a whole lot to work with. But the problem with it these days, I don't know any carrier that'll just hand you over a bunch of names of clients to go see them. It was kind of a nice advantage to where I was at that they were willing to do that and help me because I wrote a ton of business without having to really put anything into it. But to me, this is a minimal investment, $275. If someone can't figure out a way to scrounge up, I mean, heck,
it's not for them yet. Then they need to spend a few more months at a job, work on a Saturday, save the money, take out a credit card, borrow the money. Like building a business that requires some financial expense, or accept the free lead program, which we have. There's opportunity out there. And let's look at it another way. There's agents that are trying to run their own Facebook campaigns, which does work in the right situations, but it's hard work. I was talking to an agent yesterday. I was inviting people onto the call and the conversation, and they were on Dana Neeson's team, and they were let go when Tailored Legacy shut down the telesales. And she's home right now trying to build her own Facebook campaigns. That's hard. Like that's literally a hard thing to do. And last I checked, my license said insurance producer, not marketer. I'm going to hire a marketer that knows how to do the marketing for me so I can do what I know how to do. And collectively, we can run a successful business together. I'm not saying don't run your own Facebook ads, but I'm saying if you're struggling to run your own Facebook ads, so you're getting a $50 a lead cost, outsource it for now. Let somebody else do their job so that you can do yours.
Well, all I was going to say was, Chris, that like if there's a will, there's a way. I was watching this. It wasn't YouTube. It was actually on Amazon, but it was this YouTuber. I forget his name. I watched it with my kids. They would know. But I was watching it and I'm thinking about this like, man, I really like this show because it's teaching my kids even like how they can make money. Like this guy, maybe some of the younger people that watch would know. I can't remember the guy's name, but he started with a penny, and he was in California, and he had to make his way to Florida with a penny. And he took the penny and like he offered it up to somebody and they gave him something. He sold that for something else. Ends up like getting some money. He ends up like selling bottled water on the beach. You know, he goes to Walgreens and buys a cooler and gets some ice. And, you know, he's selling bottled water on the beach. Figure like he bought like a case of 48 bottles for like $5 or something. You know, turns around selling bottled water for $2 a piece, you know, making all this money. And then from there, he's doing other stuff. Like I think he ended up buying a bike while he was there. And then he started door dashing, and he's door dashing people food and stuff. Like the guy started with nothing and made its way all the way to Florida, you know, starting with a penny. And it just kind of got me thinking, like our business, you know, people complain about how they don't have money for leads. Like figure out a way to make $275. Like you could DoorDash for a week and make enough money for leads. You could Uber, pick people up and drive them around for a week if you have to. Like this guy even did like what was it? It was like a dog walking service. Like people on an app, they fill out this form like they want somebody to come walk their dog for an hour. Like all these little things, the guy's cashing in, making extra money. Like, but so many people, I feel like they'd rather sit around and complain about how they're broke. And it's like, all you got to do is just figure out a way, make a little bit extra money. Same thing. You turn that 275 investment into 3,000. And then from there, I mean, it's, you know, smooth sailing from there. Just rinse and repeat, reinvest into your business every single week. And, you're never going to have to worry about money. But I just think that, if there's a will, there's a way. Figure out a way to do it. You know, if you don't have to just focus on insurance. If you need money for leads, figure out a way to do it. Figure out a way to earn some money to invest it into your business.
Yeah, I always tell the story. I started in the business, left working as a paramedic transitionally over about a 60-day period. And I had always saved a little bit of money every single week in a Capital One account. And anyone out there could do it. If I could do it on $19 an hour, anybody can do it. It was like 50 or $100. I just tucked it away. And then when I needed it, I had $10,000 in the bank. And I said to myself, if this doesn't work, at least I won't be homeless. That gave me the peace of mind to take a leap of faith. And then I was told, this is what you do. You sign up for leads. You put your credit card on file. They charge you for them. They email them to you and you go work them. Okay, that seems pretty simple. I set up a credit card, Adam. I don't have average credit, making $19 an hour as a paramedic. I set up the credit card. I gave them the information and they charged my card every Friday. I never went without leads, but I always made sure that on Monday, I sold a quick pay policy so I could pay off the leads. So I never carried any kind of a debt. I just set it up to work right from the very beginning. So the moral of the story here is there's a will, there's a way. Heck, we can start you at 275. You can, and the whole purpose of the program, let's be clear to those watching, those signed up for it, those considering it, is that's not where it stays. Every month, raise it $100 a week. Every month, raise it $100 a week. And before you know it, it'll be warm out. It'll be a beautiful summer day. I'll be broadcasting Dynamic Friday from the Hilton in Ocean City. And folks like John Washoe will be spending, I promise you, if he does this right, $800-900 a week, and he won't even notice it because he'll be getting hammered every morning with fresh leads and making more money than he's ever seen before.
Most definitely. So yeah, let's go ahead. I'll move into the presentation here, Chris. Let's see. So, and I know we've been promoting ourselves, I guess, a lot today. And I threw this on here too, Chris, you know, just kind of talking about that, you know, always looking to build and grow, and just the different things that we offer just kind of summarizes it all into one little thing here, you know, training with people that know what they're doing. You know, that's something that's huge. People that have been in the business that can teach you and work with you, that, you know, we're not just talking about fly by night agents. I mean, we're talking about people that have been doing this a long time. Lead program, high intent leads sent to you. I need to change this to daily, actually. You know, high intent leads sent to you daily, every day, on the social media leads that we're working. We can, you know, have access to receive those every single day. Along with the appointment setting, Chris talked about, you know, how he's dealt with an appointment setter for years, and I have the last few years, and just how it really makes our lives so much easier just by giving us a little bit more structure to our day. It's definitely worth the investment. It's going to put you in front of your leads faster. Combine that with door knocking and you'll do great. Don't just focus on the appointments. Any no-shows, go back and door knock them. Any people that got rejected or any leads that rejected over the phone, door knock them and you'll do great. But yeah, add it into your business and it's definitely going to take you to the next level. Competitive compensation. We work with brand new agents. We work with mid-level agents. We even work with larger agencies. So, we pretty much have room for anybody, even if you're an agency owner that maybe needs some more tools. Maybe you have a group and you need to take your group maybe to the next level and you just don't have the resources or no knowledge or whatever of what exactly you need to do when it comes to leads and getting in front of people faster, things like that. We can definitely help. Final expense, Medicare sales, I mentioned, we're not just strictly focused on final expense. Medicare has also become a good part of our business as well. And just so much room to be able to build and grow. It's not for everybody, but those that want to do it, the potential of what you can really earn in this business, it's really what attracted me, honestly, to building and growing. I was a personal producer for years. I was on a carrier convention where I met someone making over $100,000 a month. I'm like, how the heck is he doing that? Heck, I'm working my butt off. I don't make anywhere near that kind of money. Yeah. And he was building. He was basically teaching people how to replicate himself. He knew how it was done. It's just a matter of teaching people to do things the way that you want to do them, with the way that you do it, without them changing things, really. If you know what works, that's how you want to teach your people how to do it. And as long as they follow it and learn it and don't change things, they should do really well. And just all the different amazing incentives, trips, rewards. I know Chris put together some sort of contest right now for agents that's just kind of based off of quantity of applications written. And then just different trips and rewards throughout the year, along with the different carriers that we work with as well. So, but anyways, we've talked a lot about that today. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, Chris. We're going to talk about getting your business up and running for you brand new agents, or as I mentioned, maybe you just need a new plan, a new plan of action. Maybe you've been in the business, maybe you're kind of hit a wall or something. You're just kind of struggling and maybe you just need a refresher. So we're going to talk about just getting your business up and running or rerunning, ordering leads, working leads, preparing to present. And then next week, we will go through the presentation that I use. We could either role play it, Chris, or maybe we could even find someone that we could invite on. I know me and you've done it before. Maybe we could have someone else on and we could kind of work through the presentation with them. First thing, if you're a brand new agent, I just think it's very crucial to learn your carriers. The better you sound in the home and the easier it is for you to answer questions when they arise, the better. You need to know your carriers. Toolkit, of course, helps. For those of you who don't have it, I think it's a necessity, especially unless you're just working with one carrier. Most people are not in this business. They usually have at least a good handful of carriers that they do business with. So with that, you need a tool like Toolkit that can help you learn the underwriting a lot better, honestly. And for me, I kind of know the underwriting now with majority of the carriers that I work with, but it still definitely helps. You run into different scenarios. You're not quite sure if it'll go like first day coverage or modified with a carrier, the Toolkit definitely helps, because really my goal is to do what I can to get people that first day coverage. And I want to make sure why would I want to write somebody a return of premium modified policy if I can write them first day? So that's really my goal, is to do what I can to find the person a policy where I know that I can get them covered from the very first day. And that's what I like about the Toolkit. But keep it simple. if you have one company that insures most of the people you talk to, lead with them. That's what I do. I know that people like to spread business all over the place, but if you focus on one carrier, you can reap the benefits and rewards from that one carrier as well. We have carriers that not only have incentive trips, but also offer different cash bonuses throughout the year. The one carrier,
yeah.
Chris, I know we've been talking about where
$5,000 cash bonus. I mean,
yeah,
for doing 100K a year. If you are not a trip person, or the trips don't always make sense, or the trips are when your kids are in school. God, I have no idea why they do this. I know why. Okay, I know why. It's cheaper in the springtime. I get it, but I can't go to it most of the time. But if a cash bonus would motivate you, we have carriers at obscenely high commission levels that will pay you $5,000 a year bonus for doing 100K in production. There's smaller and there's bigger numbers, but that's just a middle of the road bonus that they offer. That's insanity. I mean, learn your carriers, because the carriers that we work with, we have folks like Steve Weber from Transamerica, even watching today. We have the relationship with to get stuff done, to give input, influence, so that when you're in the field as the personal producer, it's the most competitive product available to you. And we've got your back in the background of it.
Well, it's very difficult, Chris, to make a carrier convention or earn these sort of different bonuses if you're spreading your business all over the place.
You just won't.
So if you really want to make a carrier convention or earn these sort of cash bonuses, focus on that carrier. And then if for some reason you can't write that business there, well, then let's figure out the next best scenario for that client. But that's how you're going to, not only help your client, but you're going to help yourself, and you're going to reap the benefits and the rewards of this business outside of just focusing on, spreading business all over the place. To me, it just doesn't make any sense.
No.
Moving on here. Learn 2 or 3 other carriers for different underwriting scenarios. Like I just mentioned, have your primary and then have maybe 2 or 3 others. And so far this year, I've probably written business with maybe 3 carriers. And like, that's been it. And I haven't written 3 apps. I've written a lot more than that. So
there are people out there that would say that, and it really was only 3 applications.
Yeah. Written so far this year. We're 3 weeks in. I don't know how many apps I've written. I've written enough, but I focus on the one carrier that I like doing business with, where things always go smoothly for the most part. They give me the underwriting decision at the end. If for some reason it's other than applied for, they let me know why. That just makes my life easier, because then I know kind of where to shift attention to from there. If they're not the best fit, well, then I know the reasoning behind the decision, and I can find the best carrier that will accept that person first day, if it's a condition that would be able to get first day coverage somewhere. So, but like I said, there's so many different carriers. I'm not going to throw one above any others here today, but just find one that you like and lead with them. Find a few others. That's all you need. Like, if you're with an IMO and they right away, when they contract you, they're getting you contracted with like 10, 15 different carriers, I would like hurry up and run, because to me, that's just a group that's just trying to take total control over your business, and you don't need all that. I just feel like the IMO, they do that to protect themselves, because they don't want you writing business outside of them, but really they're hurting themselves in the long run, because they're giving you way too many carriers to write business with. You get hit with a chargeback with one, you're writing with the next. You get hit with a chargeback there, you're writing with the next. Heck, that's what I'm going through right now with an agent, Chris, that, the second he piled up debt with one, he moved on to the next. Then he piled up debt there. Then he moved on to the next, because heck.
And then he went on vacation.
Yeah, then he went on vacation. Yeah, then he went on vacation.
What a fool!
You owe us $30,000.
You're on vacation.
We'll talk about it next week. I'm on vacation. Oh, thanks. Yeah. I'm working my ass off to pay your debt back.
That's crazy. So, yeah, I think. And one of the things when it comes to getting a restart or a fresh start or starting with us, and Adam knows my philosophy, he's probably tired of hearing it, is we're going to set somebody up with the 3 carriers that are the easiest to contract. Transamerica, The agent doesn't even have to fill out the contract. They just needed to embed Insure LC at some point in their lifetime, and they process it. And if it doesn't come in 3 days, something's wrong, please let us know.
Yeah.
Easy to process. Carriers like that, we're going to send them Baltimore Life. Heartland makes it incredibly simple to log into Reagan and to send it off. If the agent can't complete Reagan and Sure LC properly, they got bigger problems in life. And then maybe one other one. And then we're going to see what you do with this. Do you complete the contracting? Do you take the contract and produce from it? Do you sign up for leads, get access to training, do the stuff to justify more things? So we're a huge fan. I'm a huge fan. When it comes to learning your carriers and starting you simple, we contract you simple. Here are 3. Let's see what you do with them. Let's keep it simple. And as you get more and more successful, we're going to plug more into that portfolio as you go.
And as I put down here, Chris, as time goes on, if you feel the need to add an additional carrier for one reason or another, fine. But when you're first starting out, keep it simple. You don't need to overwhelm yourself. It's hard enough to learn underwriting with one carrier, not only underwriting, but just the back office, learning the different e-apps, learning the different agent portals and where to go for this and that and everything else. Yeah, I mean, you got to learn that with the different carriers, but just, focus on just a few to start. That's all you really need. And like you said, Chris, we talk about like the guaranteed issue and stuff. I was thinking about this the other day. People always, they want to be able to write everything. And when I look at like my business and like my persistency, I don't know what the correlation is there, Chris, but it seems like the unhealthiest people fall off the books the fastest.
It's sad, yeah.
You write the guaranteed issue business and it falls off. So I don't know what the correlation is there, like with the super unhealthy, but it just seems like, I don't know what it is. It doesn't even seem like it's business that's worth writing because it just falls off anyways.
Yeah, the amount of the carrier of choice in situations changes over the course of time. So what I say today, don't hold me to court in 5 years, 6 months, 10 years. But like, if I can't get somebody approved with Royal Arcanum on their graded benefit, they probably, it's just not a good fit. People that are very, very sick at a very young age are also, unfortunately, very financially irresponsible. It's a weird correlation that mortality and actuaries will tell you. Don't ask me. That's just what they tell me. Yeah. So that's why a lot of times that business just doesn't stick very well. Or you're picking the wrong company, or you're captive and you're selling something that's easily replaceable. Like if you're writing with a company named after American president, and just because Betty's on Plavex, she's modified, and with me, she's preferred, that's a whole different situation. But if you have to think to yourself, man, I'm not in the field, Adam, this week because I just don't have a guaranteed issue company yet. Brah, come on.
Come on, bro.
Go out. There's a reason why companies don't all offer guaranteed issue. Hello?
The business sucks.
They're all telling you something. So keep that in mind.
The business is garbage. They don't want it. I've talked to carriers that don't even really want modified business. They take it because they know that because they want all the business.
Exactly.
If they didn't accept the modified, well then if other places are, the chances of the agent placing a good portion of the business there is pretty slim. So, but a lot of them, that's why their rates are through the roof on modified, because they'll take it, but they really don't want it.
Yeah. One of our favorite companies, he even said to me in December, we're okay with the graded and modified business. We're okay with it. Like we want 89.55, most of your business. And then whatever you can't throw it somewhere else. And they've structured it relatively fair pricing wise. The preferred isn't the cheapest, but the modified isn't the worst because they want most of it. I remember back in the day when we're talking about carriers for agents, they're not on the market anymore, but settlers used to have a preferred, a standard, and a bronze. And as long as you weren't dying in front of the agent or had HIV, which I thought was silly, they would qualify for bronze. But you only could put certain amount of your business in bronze because they didn't want all your half-dead final expense clients. It gave the agent the opportunity to focus on a carrier that had 95% of the business you could place with them. So think about that as a personal producer, and think when you come to work with us, not for us, we don't hire people. That's not how this works. that we're going to set you up with a couple companies to keep you super competitive, get you out to the races, and then we'll add more as we go. We want to see you run with the ball first before we keep throwing more plays at you.
Well, and if you're only writing, like, I know there's some carriers like even like Transamerica, they accept like the Direct Express card.
Yeah.
But I could almost guarantee you, and I know Steve is on here watching this morning. I bet that they look at their business and what agents are writing. And if they see that all the agent is writing is Direct Express business with them, they might not keep that agent. I mean, they want a good mix of business. They don't just want the Direct Express business. They want that agent writing their good business with them too.
Absolutely.
So, you got to give these carriers a good mix of business. And that's why, same thing, you don't want to do all these different one-offs for certain health scenarios. Do what you can to write as much with the one primary carrier. Because then that way, at least, and I mean, and especially, I would say the primary carrier that I write my business with, I mean, my persistency is the best. And it all makes sense. It's the best quality business. I mean, I bet my persistency is over 90% easy with them. Very seldom do I see business fall off. But yeah, like I said, I don't know what it is. Sometimes the scenarios where they're not accepted there and you got to go elsewhere and they maybe have some more health issues. It seems like sometimes that's the business that falls off a little bit faster. So, but anyways, yeah, let's keep going here. Study the different carrier products and agent guides. We talked about insurance toolkits. I think that's a must. It's worth the cost of one direct mail lead. I mean, I don't even miss it. It comes right off my credit card each month. I don't even realize I'm spending the money on it. I mean, and you make that money back so quickly anyways. Don't be afraid to contact your upline manager. If you have questions and need help, if you're with a group where you have an upline and you can never get a hold of them, well, what are they doing to earn their override? They sent you a couple contracts, so that means that they're worth, earning an override commission. I mean, the job as a upline manager is to support the people below that person, and do what you can to help and support and make sure that they're set up correctly for long-term success. And one thing I love, Chris, with what we have going on, not only do we have good communication with our agents. Our agents, they know that we're out in the field a few days a week still. But we also have our agency group me, where another great form of communication. If for some reason an agent can't get a hold of myself or you, Chris, and they have maybe just a simple product question, they can get right in our agency group me. And we have so many agents in there that are knowledgeable, that have been in the business a long time, that we trust to provide accurate information to those agents. So even if for some reason, and if it's an emergency, text us or call us and say, hey, I'm with somebody, I need your help right now. I'll drop what I'm doing to help you. But if it's just a simple, basic question and that we're in the field, I mean, the group me is awesome, and I love the support that we have from our agent and agency partners that are willing to help us with that.
And I always found it, what's interesting, Adam, and maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I'm plenty wrong on occasion, but the kind of people that don't want to be around other people are the kind of people that have burned you. I feel like I've noticed that. Like if you don't want to be plugged into a group chat to at least have access to a resource in the event you needed it. Whoa, that's a red flag. Like imagine if you went out with somebody and you're ready to introduce that significant other to your family, and they're like, no, thank you. I do not want to be introduced or have a relationship with your family. That would be a huge relationship red flag, right? That's a huge dating concern. If they said they didn't want to meet your mom, your dad, or whatever. But if you don't want to be involved in the community because the community gives back and supports and is a resource when you need it, that's a huge recruiting red flag to me.
Yeah, I had an agent, prior carrier, where I was an employee, where this guy was writing every week 6,000 to 8,000 in premium. For there, I mean, that was a top producer. He was like the number one agent in the company. The guy was real slick, honestly. I mean, I could never pinpoint what he was doing because, he seemed like he was pretty clean slate. But there were, the company, I mean, they discovered some red flags in the end, but the one red flag I remember, like every year we would have a company party at the end of the year, and we would invite like the top producer, and he wouldn't want to go. Oh no, I'm just way too busy. Kids got this and that, and sports and everything else, and just way too busy. I told him he'd probably end up getting a bonus check, so he showed up. But yeah, and I Googled the guy not too long ago, and he was actually getting sued by a different carrier. So,
I wonder
yeah,
if I can guess who that is, but we won't say it online.
Yeah, I don't know if you could or not. I don't know if you know this guy or not. But
yeah.
I mean, he was actually fairly local to me, and
Oh wow,
and he was a good guy, honestly. Like, well, I thought he was. He wrote like just enough business, or like he flipped like just enough business where you wouldn't notice. Like, if you know what I mean. Like his persistency, it hung around 75, 80%. So he
just
wrote
enough.
just enough, because he wrote so much. Like that other 20%, he was turning around and flipping it and everything else. And
Wow,
I don't know, maybe other carriers he wasn't as good because he got sued by one of them. But anyways, I don't know where I was going with that, but
focus your business on one company. Don't get sued.
Yeah, that's
build relationships with people. Build relationships with community. It does you good.
And oh yeah, that was it. Just like you said, those that don't really want to communicate or be involved. That you really gotta, like most guys, if they're doing stuff the right way, people have egos in this business.
Absolutely.
Like, God, they want to be in front of people. They want everyone looking at them. I went to a meeting yesterday, Chris, with a carrier. I showed up. We got to start doing some events, maybe, Chris. We need to start, and maybe I just need to start going to some more stuff. But it's just so funny with all the work that we do, like with the social media and everything else. Like I show up at this thing and people are like, "Oh my God, Adam Brissan's here." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I'm here." and it's like, to me, I don't know, don't really think anything of it, but like to me, it just kind of showed me that like people actually do watch and see our stuff, and like it does add a lot of value. So I think that maybe we need to do some more stuff like that, either attend different events or maybe even put together our own event for some people to come to.
Yeah, we're working on the CRM partnership that is just this close to being ready. Is going to have part of the subscription package that the agents are invited to in-person events. Like it's an exclusive event to subscribers where they're going to come in and just get training, like free training, hangout, presentation, products and such. And part of the partnership is me ideally hosting the events in this market for people to come into. So it's that what you're talking about, we're this close to being able to be a part of too.
Yeah, that'll be good. So 4 things that I believe are crucial to your success as a new agent or someone that just maybe needs to get their business fixed a little bit. Money management, I would say, is probably number 1. I mean, you got to be good with your money. You got to set money aside for leads. I've had plenty of good agents that go out there and slay it, Chris. They slay it.
Slay it.
They've slayed it in the past, or a few years ago they crushed it, but now they slay it.
The bomb.
Yeah, they were the bomb back in probably like the 90s, early thousands, but now they slay it. But no, they used to slay it, but they weren't good at managing their money, and they were in and out of the business because they got to the point they didn't know how to generate any more business because they weren't good at managing their money. They spent everything they earned. They didn't reinvest into their business, and then they were back to their 9-to-5 salary position where they're held back from their full potential. Consistently ordering and working leads, kind of correlates right in with the money management part of it. Not only do you need to order leads, but you need to order them consistently every single week. You don't want to take a week off. I don't care if you're taking vacation. Like, doesn't matter. You just keep ordering leads, because you don't want to fall into that trap of like not ordering one week and then not ordering the next week. And then all of a sudden you go through like a dry spell where there's just not many leads coming in. It could lead you into falling into like a production slump, and everything just kind of fishtails from there.
Yeah.
So
So real quick on
yeah,
that one, there's two ways this works for digital and direct mail. Consistently being on, especially our mini Facebook lead campaigns, means that that marketing money is going into that pot consistently, which drives down the lead cost and increases the amount of leads you get on the mini campaigns. So it might be 9 leads this week, 10 the next. It might be 13 the month after that because it's consistently marketing that campaign and that market for that agent. Consistently ordering direct mail is because the direct mail that drops from the vendor's system on Monday is not the leads you get on Friday. Usually, Tom Masterson is getting leads that are like 3 days old tonight. It's insane how
wow.
quick Kansas City produces. Tom, that's exciting for you, man. Consistently ordering direct mail. We did not drop mail the last 2 weeks of December. I strategically planned for it. It was just part of the process. Nobody was shorted, I don't believe. But the last 2 weeks have been very stressful, waiting for it to catch back up again because there was no mail going out the door the last 2 weeks. We had inventory, we had stock, we had stuff out the door. But when you stop mailing, it doesn't stop coming in right away. It's when you least want that to be a problem. I've probably been saying this online for a decade at this point. Hopefully somebody's hearing that. But we consistently mail and order. We have those leads on autopilot because if you don't, you're not going to succeed.
No, exactly. Like I said, it's just a matter of being consistent. And even like when it hurts, you got to keep, you got to spend the money. You got to reinvest. Uh, and that's just kind of how you have to look at it. You got to know that you're going to come out ahead. You got to know that, yeah, right now it hurts. I have to spend this $600 or however much, but you just got to know going in, I'm going to be making that money back. And even if it's just a minimal investment of the 275, Chris, um, like I said, if they're, go out there and DoorDash for a few days, you can make that money to be able to purchase those leads, and you're going to turn that 275 into 2,000 or 3,000 like John did. So not a bad deal. Great investment. But like you said, especially with the Facebook campaigns, because I was running I was running my own ads a couple years ago, and every single week the lead price continued to go down. And that's another reason, like you said, why it's important to be consistent, because that ad, the key is you want that ad to continue to run. If you shut the ad off and then you start it again, it's like you're completely starting over. And then you're going to be paying more for the leads. You keep that thing running. And I remember, when I first got our ads going, it was like $30 a lead, and it went all the way down to like $7 a lead. So yeah, the longer you do it, more, and Facebook, they want your money. So the more that you give them, the more they're going to show your ad to people.
Yeah,
And
it maximizes the audience. It responds better. It knows who to target. It retargets. Consistency in marketing is what works. People don't just advertise their business once and shut it back down. So be realistic about this. If ordering consistently is a problem to you, either let us set it up on autopilot or just let us take care of it and take a lower contract to know that you don't have to worry about it.
And it's a little bit of structure with learning a presentation, and just structure to your day. What is your day going to look like? What is your week going to look like? Put things in order a little bit so you know where you're going to be going. Heck, I was at this meeting yesterday morning, Chris, and while I'm sitting there, I'm putting my route together. So I knew where I'd be going as soon as I got out of there. Learning a presentation, not just showing up and winging it. When you have a little bit of structure, you just look better when you're in the house. If you have something to work off of, like my presentation, it's a visual presentation, right on my iPad. I'm scrolling through the different slides as I talk to the people, as I ask them questions and I get them involved. And that's what we'll be going through next Friday. We'll go through that presentation and you can see, but it's just by having that structure, it becomes very routine and very repetitive. And you become better and better at it, and you just sound smoother and smoother in the home. If you're just winging it, you're probably going to continue to stumble over your words, and never really have a like beginning to end way of structuring your presentation, like from open to close. Work ethic, same thing. Don't come on our trainings if if you want to just watch the trainings, but you aren't willing to go out and work. There's just no point. What's the point in sitting around and becoming a professional student if you don't want to go out there and do something with it?
Yeah, there's plenty of better things to watch on Netflix than us. Like, this is designed. Well, go to work. Like, we want to help you be successful, but all this stuff is the 60%. If you're not doing the 40%, why are you watching the 60%? Like, we've given all of this out there. Now it's your turn to go run with it.
Yeah, and I would say, you younger agents out there, like, I just know, when you're younger, maybe you don't have as much that you got to work for, or at least that you think. I think, for one thing, you want to think big, and you don't want to just focus on making that one sale and, okay, I made $600, and, well, that's all I really need, so I'm happy now. You got to think bigger than that, and if that means that you need to go out and purchase some stuff that you got to put yourself in debt, that's not a bad thing. I had a situation with an agent that I thought could have been really good. He was a younger guy. He still lived at home. And I think the problem was everything had just been like handed to him his whole life. He didn't have to pay his phone bill. He didn't have to pay his auto insurance. His parents were making his car payment for him. Like, what do you have to work for? And so if that's your case, and if you have those sort of luxuries, great, congratulations, but think bigger. Maybe go out and buy a new car and put yourself in some debt where you got to have something to work towards. And it's not a bad thing. I remember, Chris, when we were looking to build, and this was actually prior to like when we finally built our house, because I didn't take this guy's advice when he gave it to me. This was back probably 2014. My wife and I were looking at some houses, some pretty good sized houses. And, this one house I was looking at was like, I don't know, $750,000. And I'm showing it to this guy. Actually, the guy I was friends with that was at that company he was making like $100,000 a month. And he's like, what's holding you back? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, well, just go buy it. Even if you don't think you can afford it, just go buy it. Because if you believe in yourself and you'll go out there and work, you're going to be able to afford it. And I didn't do it at that time. And you know what? I'm sure even at this point, I probably would have been able to purchase that house and remain in that house. But then I did take the guy's advice a few years later. I mean, I bought a house before I had the money to build a house, and did everything I could to get us in the home. And 6 years later, we're still here. So,
yeah. And that's the power of this business. Like, if you're
yeah.
looking at this and you're not receiving that yet, or you're looking to get started in it, or you want this to be a reality, you have the ability to buy time and print money by deploying this system properly. You can lie to yourself the rest of your life and waste your full potential at what you could have been. Plenty of people do that. Probably most in this industry really do. But if you want to give yourself something to chase, you absolutely can. And figure out, all right, I need $10,000. Okay, $10,000 divided by this much production at my commission level, based off of this many leads and that many appointments. Go. Like, it really is that replicatable. I want to move to a place that costs more money. How much more money does it cost? Okay, that's one extra application a month. Can I do that? Yes. I need a new iPad. My iPad is slow. It crashes. Get a new one. Like, it really depends on the scale of the thing that you're trying to do, but you need to give yourself something to chase sometimes. I think, interestingly enough, from an agency perspective, maybe in the process of giving out the highest commissions possible, maybe in the process of just giving and giving and giving, we haven't given things to chase. And sometimes these MLMs of the world have grown big because they've got the carrot and the stick out in front of people so often. You want a 75? Write 5K. You want an 80? Write 10K. They got the carrot and the stick thing going so hard that people push themselves to get there. I've always believed just give them what they can get from the very beginning. But in turn, maybe you need to give yourself the stick to chase to get what you want in your dreams, the trip, the house, the car, the lack of a credit card debt, the lack of a car debt, like whatever it is. I knew a couple years ago when we were in a massive hot streak, overrides were coming in hot. You know what I did? I paid off the Jeep because I didn't want the Jeep keeping me from being able to reinvest in the business. It's more money I can put back somewhere else. So give yourself something to chase, give yourself something to pay off. And guess what? That reward is really the pursuit of it, not the destination when you eventually get there.
Well, it does something with your mindset too, Chris. I think when you have something to work for or towards, and even like when you know exactly how much money you need to come up with, like you said, I mean, you're going to figure out a way to make it happen. You're always going to try to find that next sale, whether that's a lead or maybe you'll push harder to get referrals. You're going to do the things necessary to find that next sale. And I think that's the best mindset to have, not just focusing on, I need to make a sale today, but focusing on what do I got to do to make that next one. And that's really, I don't know, anytime I have something where I'm like, oh man, I got to come up with an extra, 15,000 or something, like I'm going to figure out a way to make it happen. And my mind just kind of goes like, just really get like focused and like in the zone. And, like I said, always just trying to focus on the next sale. Who can I go see next? Who gives me the best opportunity to, and maybe that's why, I don't know, maybe I need to figure something out, Chris, because like you probably even notice like my production, majority of the business I write is like late afternoon, early evening. Like in the morning time, every once in a while I get one, but it's always like later in the day. So I don't know if I like shift my mindset or something later in the day where like now it's like crunch time and I just hate going home without anything. Like I just need to like figure out a way. I just need to leave my house in the morning, like with that same mindset, like, all right, it's crunch time. Like pretend like the day ends at noon or something.
Yeah, that could be it. I get really, really, really excited by getting that first piece of business on the books. Like when the first appointment is home, I get in and I walk through it and I lock it down. That's really motivating. Very few things get me up and down emotionally in this business anymore as a personal producer. But that first app just freaking feels good. And that sets the tone for the rest of the day. And when that doesn't happen, I'm like, ah. So maybe like that hot pursuit of that first piece of business. And then if you can write a piece of business before noon, then you get to do something else, whatever that something else is. I give you this is the worst example I could give you. The last couple Wednesdays, I've left the field a little bit earlier so I could have dinner with the wife. And I set the schedule Wednesday based off of wanting to do that. Like I need more appointments than normal, more leads than normal in a certain particular area with a certain particular premium done to make that kind of thing happen. Because I still have a goal that I have to hit no matter what. And to cut 2 hours out of the day, I have to make the rest of the day even more, compacted. And normally Wednesdays are kind of like, what happens. It'll happen. I just got to go through the motions. But I pushed it in even harder to be able to get 2 hours out for myself. So worst example I could give you, because that was the worst example, but the best example is maybe figure out what you can win in the morning to give yourself a reward in the afternoon.
Yeah. Another word of advice for brand new agents that maybe don't have a ton of money for leads. Either get with us, or if you're not with us, talk to, your upline and see if they have like any aged leads that, even if they're not near home, if you have to go a couple hours away from home, I think another great way to kind of feel like kind of having like that like crunch time mindset is take yourself into an area where you can't just hurry up and go home, where when you're there, that you're just going to be there for maybe a few days. Even if I would say go somewhere where you're not close enough where you need to get a hotel and you have to stay for a couple days, because then you got nothing else to focus on but work. There's like very little distractions, and you have that urgency to write as much business as you can, because you don't know when you're going to be back in that area. Like, let's say, like I used to do this all the time, Chris. I would buy leads up in Milwaukee. For me, Milwaukee is about 2.5 hours away. It's far enough that I'm not going to go up there for the day and drive home and do that again the next day. Like, I'm going to stay up there for a few days. But as time would go on, like if I would be there for like 3 days, and like by that third day, and I knew that would be the night I'd be driving home. I mean, God, I was doing everything I could. Oh, could you come back later? I got this. No, I can't. I can't come back later. I can't come back tomorrow. This is it. I'm not going to be around this area for a while. So if you're serious about this, we need to talk right now. But it kind of puts you in that mindset, creating that urgency for yourself to do as much business as you can within that small amount of time. And especially if you have aged leads, you're not paying a whole lot for them. So you can get a big stack of them and try to catch up with a lot of people all within that one area. But yeah. New agents, I definitely would recommend, after a few sales, buy some aged leads, put enough money aside to get a hotel for a night or two, and just go out there. And like I said, you will be so focused on just work and nothing else. Very, very limited distractions. And every time I'd go up to Milwaukee, Chris, I mean, I might go up there for a day or two. I don't think I ever came home with less than like 6,000 in premium.
Wow.
Within a couple of days. And that's just because, like I said, you're so focused on just work and nothing else. And you're like, what am I going to do? Just go sit in a hotel room? Like, I'm going to stay on work as late as I can.
Yeah, I just dropped in the section over here, areas where I can guarantee you today we could put you in front of countless amounts of people to give you what Adam's describing. The Chicago market. No, I'm not reselling Adam's leads. We've got plenty in that area to work from. New Mexico. I don't know how many people are in New Mexico, but we got plenty. New Jersey, Delaware, Philadelphia. I could feed an agent in Philadelphia for years off of stuff that's like gently used. Maryland, Tulsa, Southern Louisiana, Wisconsin, you name it. We've got opportunities out there for people that need to get out of their home, get out of their backyard, get out of their area, and get in front of people to cash flow their business. You take a travel trip to one of those areas, you make $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. Now you're on track. Now you can start a mini campaign, a direct mail campaign, take in transfers, whatever it is. One of those markets will put you on that track.
Yeah, most definitely. Let's see. So yeah, like I said, work ethic, you just get, I think it's probably the most important part of the whole thing. I mean, if you can't get out of bed in the morning, this might not be for you. I mean, you got to be willing to get up and get out, and that's what it's going to take. And you can't treat it like a 9 to 5. You got to realize you are an entrepreneur. You're going to get out of this as much as what you're willing to put in. What that means is that you're going to have long days. You're not going to be, if you treat it like a 9 to 5, you're going to get minimal results. You got to focus on, 9 to whenever, until you feel like you got enough done for the day. And I mean, heck, I'm 22 years in, Chris. And when I go out in the field, there's still days that I don't get home until 10 o'clock at night sometimes. You just got to willing to get as much out of that time as necessary. Money management, like I said, setting money aside is crucial. I'll just kind of blow through this. We've already kind of talked about this, the constant flow of leads. One thing I would recommend, open up a separate bank account. Call it your leads account. It's just a good way to kind of set money aside. And I think there's accounts these days too. I mean, I always do it manually, Chris, but I think there's accounts where you can have it set up where every time a deposit comes in, like a certain percentage will automatically transfer into like a separate account. But if there's a account out there that that does that, that's what I would recommend. Makes it easier, maybe even a little bit less work, and it won't even feel like it's happening. All of a sudden, all this money will just appear in that side account that's your leads account. But I recommend to transfer 30% of every deposit you get into your leads account. 30% might sound high, but you're better off to have more than enough set aside than not enough, because you got to have that money set aside for the leads each week. Use the money in the leads account to place an order every single week. Your first week, remember, it takes money to make money. You may have to invest more into your business the first few weeks.
It's called opening a business.
Yeah.
That's a reality of opening a business.
And you know what? A lot of businesses, people take loans out to get their business started. Well, you could open up a credit card and you could use the that credit to purchase some leads, knowing that you had to pay that back.
Yep.
Yeah, like you said, that's kind of how you got going. If you don't have money for leads, do whatever it takes. Like I said, you could do the stuff I talked about earlier, just to make that money real quick. Or you could work your warm market, people that that could be good candidates for this. It's a great way, even as a brand new agent, to learn a presentation, practice it with people that you know. You could call people that you know and just say, "Hey, I'm starting this new job. I'm in the insurance business now, and I wanted to come by. Just if you wouldn't mind, I just wanted to practice my presentation with people that I know and that I'm comfortable with." And you'll end up writing some business too, and probably getting some referrals from those people. So put together a list of about 15 people that you know. If you're brand new, like I said, and just, not a lot for leads, contact them, let them know about your careers I mentioned, and see if you can come by. It might take 15 to 20 minutes to practice my presentation. Very low pressure. You can quote and try to write a policy on them. And if they're not in need, you can get referrals. But, another thing with that too, just opening up to more than just the final expense. You can explain to the people, and I not only help people with final expenses, but we help with Medicare. We do have term policies for younger people, and just different sort of policies to fit different needs. So anybody that you know of that you think I could help, let me know. I'd be more than happy to sit down with them and see what we could do to help them. And like I said, very low pressure. They're people that you already know. They're willing to help you. And that willing to help might even mean they'd be willing to take out a policy from you. And from those 15 people that you know, I see no reason why you couldn't write at least between $3,000 and $5,000 in premium off of people that you know. And talk about a great way to build up some money right away that you can reinvest into your business. So that's something that, a lot of the different MLMs, Chris, they do a lot of this stuff, but it works.
They build
why not?
entire businesses off of protecting their warm market and gathering referrals.
Yeah.
I think it's a damn shame we're not better at that. And now I'm not saying churn your warm market, write your sister up on every single carrier and then rewrite her again. That's only going to create problems. But I am making sure that you make it clear to your friends and family and people that are important to you what you do. I have never forced myself on a single person to buy a policy, but they all know. Just let them know. And if this is new and important to you and exciting, get a fast start. And if you are a licensed agent and you're looking to get a restart, I got the simplest trick for you. Hour and 30 minutes into the video. Make a list of 15 to 20 people that you've already sold a policy to, who you know would let you in their home if you stopped by to use the bathroom, and do a policy review. That's it. I'm just here to review your policy, Adam. I'm going to go over it, and at the end, I'm going to go over the current inflation numbers and make sure everything is all right.
Yeah.
That's it. And you're going to write 3,000 to 5,000, get a restart, and more importantly, get a mental restart about your business, because those people liked you and knew you and trusted you and bought again, and then you're back in the game. So that's another way to do it for agents as well.
Most definitely. I do policy reviews all the time. And you know what, Chris, and even a brand new agent, brand new person to the business might say, well, I can't just go back right away. I just wrote business on that person. I got to wait at least a year before I go back and see that person. So that's something that would be good for me down the road. But what about right now? You could go back. If you don't deliver your policies, you could still go back within the next month and drop by that person, make sure that they receive their policy, and you can add coverage. We tested this a few years ago, and 2 out of 5 people that we went back to on average would increase their coverage just by going back within the first 30 days. Mrs. Jones, you pre-qualified for 25,000. I know we got you set up with the 15, but you pre-qualified for 25,000. Do you want to just take care of that today? And you'd be surprised that the people, like I said, 2 out of 5, that's not a bad number.
Got one more for you.
Yeah.
I went and I saw somebody in this exact same scenario. It was the second to last person I saw at the end of 2024 before I took Christmas break. I wrote her a Medicare plan, and I think that was the only piece of business I had put in the home. Planted that small flag like we talked about on Thursday. And then I'm in the same area a couple weeks ago. I'm just like, this is not turning out to be a very good day. And I'm thinking, who else do I know in this area that I just go to and see what would happen? Show up. And I'm like, I hadn't even talked to that lady about hospital indemnity coverage. And I bet you this lady trusts me enough to do whatever I ask her to do. And it's a good thing to have. She's not on Medicaid. She would use it. I go out to the home. Deborah, I forgot to go over activating your hospital indemnity coverage with you. Oh, sure. Come on in. And you know what I found, Adam, is that her husband was awake. Shockingly, he was a Medicare recipient, got an MAPD. Her husband was paying over $300 a month for two other final expense policies that I didn't even think about, to know about, to see about just a month ago. Going back, opened up that opportunity to me. So you don't have to wait 6, 9, or 12 months to do a policy review. Go back for their initial opening, whatever. Call it whatever you want. They got a policy. Now you want to go over it with them on policy delivery, and you'd be surprised what you find.
No, that's awesome. No, that's, like I said, if you don't deliver policies yourself, just within the first 30 days, go back. Like you said, you just never know what you're going to run into. And and you know what happens, Chris? They trusted you enough to take out the policy, but they might not trust you completely yet. They might like you, but it seems like this guy's legit, but I'm not sure. But once that policy shows up, they everything that you told them actually happened. Now they're willing to do more business with you. Okay, this guy's legit. Everything that he told me became a fact. Everything became true. So now I know that I can trust this guy, and now I know that I have other family members that I'm willing to send his way. So, and that's what happens. They got the policy now. Like I said, you pre-qualified for the 15. I know you have your policy right here for the 15, but I'm sorry, you pre-qualified for 25. You want to just take care of that today. Let's focus on the fact that 15 is enough to cover a burial right now. But what happens if you die 10, 15, 20 years from now? So that's where, like you mentioned, the inflation, Chris, and I use that funeral cost inflation chart that I have. If anybody wants a copy, reach out to me. Send me a message on Insurance Life Podcast on Instagram. Yeah, I'm going to start promoting that. Go to the Insurance Life Podcast on Instagram and send me a message, and I'll send it over to you. Let's see. Let me see if I can kind of breeze through the rest of this, Chris. Cold door knocking. Oh, boy, that just sounds horrible, doesn't it, Chris? Going up and down the street to people that you don't know. But you know what? It works. Same thing. If there's a will, there's a way. I was overfinanced with a company that, they financed me leads. I think it got to the point where at the time, I don't know, the financing, I probably owed them at least maybe a couple $1,000s in leads, maybe a little bit more than that, maybe like 3,000 or something. They pretty much said, we're not going to send any more leads. You need to write some business with what you have. And if you can't, I guess you're just going to have to go get a job at Walmart. So I decided, I don't want to go work at Walmart. I want to find something better to do. So I decided to pick out a neighborhood where I already had leads, and I just started cold door knocking, one after another. I figured all it's going to take is one person to let me in their house, and that will start to turn things around a little bit. And so, I've done it. I've done the cold door knocking, and it's something that we've tested as well. The best areas are middle to low income when we're focusing on the final expense, and houses that are close together. There's a lot of areas in and around Chicago for me, Chris, where they call them they call the homes like bungalows, where they're very close together. Like every single house is about probably 10 feet apart from the next, where I can knock out going up and down that street pretty quickly. And like I said, you just never know what's going on the other side of that house. I've knocked on doors cold where the people just got home from a funeral, and they're like, oh my God, God must have just sent you to us. Like, we were just talking about this. We just got home from a funeral. We know we need this. So it's not all going to be negative. Like, you think that you're just going to knock on doors and people are going to slam the door in your face. I've experienced more positive than negative from it. I would recommend to maybe print out a flyer or like order some door knocking pieces, or I'm sorry, like door hangers where you can put the door hanger on the door. If I would do that for people that are not home, or if they just tell you they're not interested, hand them the flyer and they'll either throw it in the garbage or maybe they'll give it to somebody who would be in need. But that's usually what I experience more, is people saying either, yeah, come on in, we could use this, or, you know, thanks for going around and trying to help people in the area. We're all taken care of, but maybe we can share this with somebody else that we know. Those are usually more of the responses that I receive when I've done the cold door knocking. But this is the script that I use when I cold door knock. Hi, my name is Adam Bersan, and I'm a benefits coordinator licensed with the state of Illinois. I've been assigned to do a neighborhood enrollment for a state-approved final expense program that will pay your family up to $50,000 in the event of your death to cover all funeral expenses. I just need about 5 minutes of your time to see if you'll qualify. Can I come in? It's as simple as that. They'll either say yes or no. And, you know, you can't get anywhere with them, move on. If you get in, great. But, and it's good exercise, especially when it gets a little bit nicer out. Like today, it's, I don't know, 5 degrees out, might be a little cold. But you know what, though? Cold days, door knocking, people are more willing to let you in, too. You stand out there freezing. So, but just kind of breaking it down, another option, you can cold door knock a list. List Shack, I don't know if it's still a thing or not. I got to look. My dad used to use List Shack a lot. You can order a list. You can sort the list based on age, based on income, to really narrow it down to the right client. And you can narrow that list down to the last 4 digits of the zip code. Like, you know, like by me, a certain zip code might be like 60435-3772 or something. Like you can narrow it down to those last 4 digits. That's going to put you right in the middle of a neighborhood. And then you can door knock that list. Hi, I'm here to see Mary. Yeah, Mary, I just have you on the list here as someone who may qualify for a state-approved final expense plan. And it's just my job to come by to go over those benefits and to see if you qualify for the $50,000 option, whatever. You know, just there's different ways of handling it. But like we said, there's a will, there's a way. Facebook aged leads, aged direct mail leads, like we talked about, just different ways of doing it that, you know, just a matter of getting in front of people. So, and then this is just your first 4 weeks. This is what I recommend. If you're doing the leads through us, and like Chris mentioned, like the 275, if that's all you can handle, great. I would recommend to do more than that, though. Like I would do 3 times that much. So I think that's probably what, like $825, something like that. 275 times 3. I think that sounds right. Hopefully. If you can handle that, great, because that 825 would more than likely get you around 30 Facebook leads is kind of the numbers that I'm figuring out here. And then also, again, if you get like a credit card and you got to invest in your business, then you can also order the direct mail leads. And I just think it's good to maybe have a combination of both. The direct mail, everything's going to be much closer together. The Facebook leads will be a little bit more spread out. But as you order the Facebook leads, you're going to build up that inventory, and the leads will become closer together because you're going to have leads from last week that you still weren't able to catch up with. And now you have new leads from this week and then the following week. So sooner or later, you're going to have plenty of leads to work. But 30 Facebook leads, 20 direct mail leads, I think is a great way to start. If all you can handle is the 275, it's at least a good way to get your feet wet to generate a little bit of business. But then whatever you earn off of that 275, flip it around and then place the bigger lead orders if that's how you want to do it. So if anything, we could say maybe, Chris, week 1, do the 275, make a few sales. Whatever you make, though, you got to reinvest into more leads. If you really want to slay it, you got to,
there we go.
You got to do more than just the minimum, Chris.
There it is. Yep. And the theme of the year is all in. Be all in or all out. And that's okay. Whichever one.
And then when you make that sale again, after, when you have the more abundance of leads, transfer the 30% of your commissions into that separate bank account, rinse and repeat, do that every single sale, every single deposit you get. So then that way, when you need to place the lead order every single week, you already got that money set aside. It'll feel like free leads, especially if you have the account that's just automatic. Weeks 4 and on, you should have direct mail leads coming in by now. You can focus on the direct mail. If you're having success on the Facebook, keep doing them. If Facebook starts to dry up, well, again, get going on the direct mail. But at least there's plenty of different sources to, to kind of make sure that you're always going to have that steady flow of people to see. But it's up to you. You're the one who has to do it. You're the one who has to invest. We can teach all this to you. We can show you what works, but then it's up to you. So if you fail, just got to remember, well, let's see. They told me to do this. They told me to do that. Did I do this? Did I do that? If you're answering no to everything, well, then that could be why you're failing. But if you follow what we teach you, like I said, our goal is really to just set people up for that long-term success. And then we're just about done. I know we kind of went a little long today, but that's all right. Appointment setting tips. If you're not using an appointment setter, brand new agents, I think you need to learn to do it yourself. I recommend to use first names only, because if you're calling person like Mrs. Jones or Mrs. Carter or whatever, you sound very, very telemarketing, in my opinion. If you're calling the person by their first name, it doesn't sound so telemarketing, I guess you could say, not so salesy. Make calls every day. And everything I do, I just try to be a little bit different. People might say, why would you want to call at 8 o'clock at night? Because that's what I say. I say, call to set your appointments up from 8 to 9 o'clock at night, no earlier. Well, what are people doing at 8 o'clock at night? They're kicking back, they're relaxing, they're watching TV, they're doing crossword puzzles. Like they're not like running around chasing their grandkids around the house in the middle of the day. They're not making dinner. Their dinner's over. They're kicking back. They're relaxed. What else happens at 8 o'clock at night to 9 o'clock at night? Nobody else is calling them. Higher likelihood that they're going to pick up the phone, because heck, I mean, this might be important. Someone's calling me this time of night. So that's why I like calling from 8 to 9 o'clock at night. I very seldom get any resistance or anybody mad that I call them. Maybe the 85-year-old lady, you don't want to call that late, but other people, you should be okay. And then set up appointments on the hour, beginning at either 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. I start at 9 because I have the appointments that are setting them for me. If I was doing it myself, I would say 10 o'clock would be my first appointment, because I would want to take the morning time to call the leads again, to call people that I was not able to reach earlier, or I'm sorry, to call people I was not able to reach the night prior. Now I'm going to call in the morning and try to set those up for the same day. And I recommend calling them, have them all set and ready to call on the way to your first appointment. If your first appointment's at 9 o'clock, you might have some gaps in your schedule throughout the day. We'll try to fill in those gaps. You have an opening at 1 o'clock. You have an opening at 4 o'clock. Do what you can to set those up for that day. The sooner you can set up that appointment, the higher likelihood that person's going to be home. Like if you're setting it up on Monday, set it up for Monday or Tuesday. Don't go further out, because you go further out, there's a real good chance they're not going to be there. And then if you get rejected over the phone, plan on stopping by at least maybe 2 days later. Like I said, people aren't going to even realize you're the same person that they rejected on the phone. A lot of times people are pre-programmed to just say no on the phone. They think it's a telemarketer. They don't realize it's about something that they actually inquired about. So that's why, like I said, 2 days later, stop by. They might have been mean and nasty to you over the phone, and they might welcome you in with open arms, and you're able to do business. It's a mindset thing. So many times I've done this, and I've gotten in homes and written business on leads that people hung up on me, or even if I look at the notes that our appointment setters weren't able to get anywhere with over the phone. But when I go to the door and I show them that lead card they filled out, oh yeah, I remember doing that. Well, that's why I'm here. And they let you in. So just the different lead pieces, direct mail, the DE73 is pretty common with Need a Lead. I like Need a Lead. Average cost around me, I know, is like 38 to 40 bucks. And then just real quick, I'm just going to go through the phone script real quick, and then we should be done for the day, Chris. Hello, Mary. My name is Adam Bursan, and I'm a state licensed underwriter calling about the pink request card that we received back that you had sent in. I just needed to verify a few things with you real quick. You put down that you're 64 years old or 64 years young. Is that correct? And I
I'm
have your,
84. That must be from 20 years ago.
maybe it is. I'll still door knock it. Um, and I have your address as 1050 Park Lane in Joliet. Is that correct? Okay,
Yep.
great. And I know your phone number is correct because I'm speaking to you. And, you know, they usually laugh. I'm going to be in your area tomorrow to go over your benefits. And I just need to see if 10 a.m. works for you. And if no, suggest another time. Okay, I also have an opening at 2:30. Is that better? If still no, have them tell you what time they are available. Okay, great. It will only take a few minutes to go over what you qualify for and take care of you. Uh, is your address a house or apartment? What color is it? Any cars outside? These are just all things that are going to help you. Even if they're not home when you get there, now you know what kind of car they have. So the next time you drive past, you're going to know, okay, well, their car's here now, and you can drop in. Uh, just so you know, it's me. I'll have my state ID badge with me, and describe yourself, what you look like. So I'm easy to spot. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow at what time again? So I throw the question at them. I'll be seeing you tomorrow at what time again? Let them tell you. And to me, that's kind of like a mindset thing. Maybe they're putting in their mind then, okay, yeah, this guy's coming by tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Have a great day. It's as simple as that. I mean, there's so many different ways to do it. This is a script that I've used that has worked. If you have something that works, great. But main thing, get on the phone and call the leads. Do what you can to set up the appointments. And like I said, anything that you can't set, throw it out of your mind that they reject you over the phone. Door knock that thing a couple days later. I recommend using En route. There's other ones I know, like Road Warrior is one that people use for door knocking leads. I use En route. It's an Apple, and it's like $5 a month. And I'm pretty sure it does everything that all the other ones do. And I've been using it for probably at least 3 years now, 3 or 4 years, and it's done really well. Notability and good notes. Chris and I talk about that. I put all of my leads in an app called Good Notes, and I can search through all those leads. It'll give me all the leads that are all within one zip code. If I have a little bit of time to kill in between appointments, makes it a heck of a lot easier than shuffling through all my leads in my car that are printed out, where some are like crunched up under a seat, just all over the place. On the iPad, just has really helped me with my organizing and just having everything in order. So definitely recommend either Notability or Good Notes to put all of your direct mail leads, or even the Facebook with the door knocking pieces in, so you can show it to the person when you go to the door. So when your leads arrive, like I said, appointment set, great. Without appointment set, yeah, just get in there, put the route together, and just one stop after the next. Make that part of your day. And I think, like I said, sometimes people, they just work the appointments and they're wondering why they're failing. You got to get as much out of your leads as you can. And that's how you're going to get the most out of them, is by taking them and door knocking them as well. Get out of your comfort zone, get used to doing it. You'll end up slaying it for sure.
Yep.
And if the lead's not home, like I said, make a note on the back. Maybe set your leads. You can even create different folders, even in like the apps that we use. Like I can create an AM folder and like a night and weekend folder. If I've tried a lead 3 or 4 times during the day, well, then I'm just going to throw that into my PM folder. And then I know what to focus on after 5 o'clock at night, or going out on a Saturday if I need to. But yeah, it's as simple as that. What to wear, business casual. Keep the client comfortable. Don't look intimidating. Like I said, you don't need to wear a suit and a tie when we're selling final expense insurance on usually not the nice side of town. So don't look intimidating. What to take up to the door? Anything that you need to take up to the door to sell a policy. It's funny that I even have this on here, Chris, but I had somebody tell me once that they drive up into the driveway and they just keep their car running when they door knock the lead. They keep their car running and they keep their door wide open. And then they'd go up to the door, like just saying, "Oh, I just was here to just introduce myself. I didn't really want to see you today. But, if you have time, I'll go turn my car off." Like maybe it's very low key, but I don't know. I'd be afraid of someone running up and taking my car. But if it was my house and somebody did that, I would laugh at them, because the second they turn around and walk back to their car, I'd shut the door and I wouldn't let them back in. So take whatever you need up to the door that you need to make a sale. And that's all you need. When you go up to the door, hi, Mary, I'm Adam Bersan. I'm a state licensed underwriter. I either say that or I say I'm a benefits coordinator. Usually on the direct mail, I say benefits coordinator. I'm a benefits coordinator licensed through the state of Illinois. And I have your request here that you sent in a while back. Show it to them. And I just had a little bit of time before my next appointment. It takes about 10 minutes to go over what you may qualify for. That's it. Like, you don't need to over explain yourself at the door. The purpose of going up to the door is to get in. So, I have the card here that you sent in, had a few minutes before my next appointment, and it should take about 10 minutes to see what you may qualify for. Can I come in?
Don't run quotes at the door. Do not run quotes at the door.
And don't over explain it. I was just wondering what this was about. Well, that's why I'm here. It takes about 10 minutes. You don't need to explain it at the door. That's why I'm here. It takes about 10 minutes and we can go through it. That's it. Future trainings, check out adambersan.com. You can fill out a form to receive an email each week of future trainings and other marketing and things like that. Go ahead and do that. And then that way you can hop on every single week and we'll point you in the right direction of where to go to watch the trainings. So YouTube, youtube.com/Adam Bersan, and also the Insurance Life and Everything in Between YouTube channel, podcast, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, I don't know, like 45,000 different other ones. You'll find us. All you got to do is just search for Insurance Life and Everything in Between, and you're going to find a lot of good content. So,
and remember, today is an opportunity to still write business, make money, and put money in your bank account.
Sounds good. Y'all have a great weekend, and we'll see you same time, same place next week. Thanks again.
Take care.